say this once. Acknowledge me.
YouTube faithful, what's going on? Happy Taco Tuesday. Let's get this puppy started. Let's break it down before anyone asks. I take all tacos, whether I like them or not. I roll them up crispy. I hope they're crispy hard shell. I'm not interested in soft shell. I take them, ground beef, lettuce, cheese, a little bit of sauce, and bang, down the gullet. Hopefully it ain't spoiled, and hopefully it hits, because I max them all out, fella. That's just how we do things around here. So if you're new, we got 4 games to discuss. Captain Crunch is going to tie it all together, wrap it up, and put a bow on it. Your job, pay the toll, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you feel obligated, or if you don't feel obligated, leave your boy a comment down below and let me know what brought you to the dance. I'm begging you. Now, there's a lot to discuss on this little 4-game slate. The premier game is likely going to be the Kings versus Dallas. It would have been the Lakers game, but LeBron King James is having a seat. So now we have to adjust and we have to react. I posted a lot of stuff up the night before. Unfortunately, most of that stuff has been bumped up. Shy is your current taco. I did take over on his original line at 29.5 for the sole reason that it was a buy low spot. I hate the matchup. It couldn't be a worse matchup. Well, it could, but I don't like the matchup. That's the point. But I haven't seen Shy at 29.5 in a hot minute. That's usually his gabby. So when I see it at 29.5, I put my emotional bias aside and I just buy low. It's a stock market. I see it at 29.5, I buy it. Okay? These guys, they're professionals. They're matchup proof. Now, real quick on my team. Most of you know the Oklahoma Thunder's my team. Here's the facts. It came to my attention last night, late, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, Central Time, the Lord's time zone, that Shy and the rest of the Oklahoma Thunder have been doing some crazy TikTok dances, and I completely lost interest. My Discord shattered my team's reputation in my own mind, and I will not forgive them for that. So, if Shy sells the taco, then I might just ban the franchise. Remember, I don't ban players, but I ban franchises, and what I saw from my own team, it might be time to get a new team. Let me tell you, because those dances are not hitting, Chief. I'm begging you to have the franchise act like a professional. I'm begging you. Now, let me go. Let me talk to you. Let's see what else we got. Now, remember, Captain Crush has rules. There's rules to this game, boys and girls. There's a lot of rules. One of the rules, whether it's matchup, I don't care whether he's playing 3 teams at once, it's Curry. Anytime he's below 39 fantasy points, I take a shot on him. Now, he's not going to be an anchor. He's probably just going to be in 1 to 2 slips maximum, but we have to talk about this, okay? Here's the facts. In the last 5 games, he's averaging 1.24 fantasy points per minute and around 25 to 27% usage rate. Now, like I said, the matchup ain't hitting. It's a pace down spot. The Miami defense plays slow and methodical. Jimmy Butler might be out of the mix, but still, they're a slow defensive-minded team. Realistically, I'm hoping Curry gets hot early because he's going to need points to cash this. Maybe a few rebounds, maybe a few dimes, maybe a blocker steal and fade the turnovers. But again, it's just a rule that I have. His upside is too high. He can drop 30 real points any day of the week, twice on Sunday. So when I see it sub 39, I take a shot. Remember, it's a stock market. I buy low. These guys like Curry, they're matchup proof. I don't care. If he sells, he sells. It's not going to make or break my night. Just like I said with Voos last night. By the way, cash Voos's rebounds, but your night should never be resting on the darts. It should be resting on your plays of the day. Yesterday's play of the day, by the way, Jalen Green, bang, cash him with an emphatic dunk late in the 4th quarter because he respects coin. And the fact of the matter is this, he shot 8 for 24 and still got it done. He ended up like 9 for 26 or something to cash 25.5 points. And he even cashed the bump because he respects coin at 26.5. So those are my thoughts on Curry, okay? Now I got a couple other ones. This video is going to be quick. Remember, it's only a 4-game slate. And I got comment guy telling me, oh, where's the comment guy that was telling me, oh, he gives his picks for 2 minutes and talks about how great he is for 15 minutes. Fella, I do shout outs. Every Discord does shout outs. We celebrate our wins. If you don't like it, no one's telling you to watch the video, buddy. Surely not me. There's plenty of other cappers you can go lose your coin on. If you want to be a part of the winning team, you'll sit back, drink your beverage, have your popcorn, know your role, and listen to what I have to say. And if you don't like what I'm saying, you can skip with your little grubby paw and your little mouse. You can skip ahead, and that's a fact, okay? Now, we are on the dunk section here. Yesterday, I don't think I covered dunks. In fact, I did have a dunk segment on Jarrett Allen, and I edited it out, and I'm wishing I would have kept it in, baby, because he ended up cashing the dunks, but I didn't want to have a repeat where he had a driving hook or whatever and everyone got sold last minute. So we are on the dunk board today. This is the only one that I took was Brook Lopez, less half a dunk. Somebody in my Discord was like, all it takes is one fast break for him to go. Fella, Brook Lopez ain't ever gonna be on a fast break going coast to coast. He runs like a 7.5 40, bro. He's not that guy. The only way he's gonna get a dunk is if he gets an offensive rebound put back, an alley-oop, something like that. Is it risky? Of course it's risky. It's a random prop. This is why these are not in anchors. It's 1 to 2 slips max. It's a dart, but it's a fun prop and I'll have my fun. Okay, that's what it is. It's a fun prop, but I am the self-proclaimed dunk king. I haven't missed yet. Hopefully the streak continues. Now the obvious ones here would be AD and Giannis. I think you could get behind Giannis, but what scares me about that game now is LeBron out, the spread, blowout potential, yada yada. I think either of these are in the mix, but I personally am not going there. Maybe one slip max, maybe. So that leaves us with one man, and that's Kuminga. Is he gonna get 1.5 dunks? Well, here's the fear. Kerr decides to limit minutes out of nowhere for Kuminga and Wiggins and Green and Paul. It doesn't matter. Kerr runs a deep rotation. You can never put coin and feel happy about it for anyone. Even Curry sometimes gets limited out of nowhere. You hate to see it, but more importantly, you hate to feel it when it chalks your slips. But I guess Kuminga's 1.5 dunks could be considered. Let's go check it out real quick. I will come back to Kyrie here. If you are not on Outlier Bet, you need to get in the mix. The link's in the description. You can use code CRUSH and get 30 days free. If you click that link, it'll set you up. If they don't honor it, contact support. They'll give you your 30 free days. After that, it's like $20 a month. It's crispy. Now, for him to get 2 dunks, as you can see, a lot of things has to go his way, but he does have been hitting dunks. So I will go ahead and take a shot on it. These would be my favorite 2. I don't love it today. Again, there's only 4 games, so I'm limited. These are going to be the popular ones. So I'm going to fade those, and I'm going to take the road less traveled, and these are the 2 that I would do. I would say 5 to 10 max, 1 to 2 slips max. Don't get carried away with dunk props. These are your scratch off lottery tickets. These are your fun props. Do I need to spell it out for you? They're fun props. The edge is minimal. There's no edge here. I don't care what anyone's telling you. The only edge is that Captain Crush is going to speak facts to you. Now clear the board because I got real propositions to talk about. Next up, I told you I was going to come back to Kyrie. Now, I've been battling all day with my play of the day. Is it going to be Kyrie? Is it going to be Luka? It was Kyrie at 4.5 assists. PrizePicks went ahead and bumped it up to 5. You can get it at 4.5 on Sleeper. You can probably get it on Chalkboard. Code Crush over there as well, jabronis. But what are we going to do with Kyrie? Well, buy low, baby. 38.5. Both teams are on a back-to-back. Both teams are trying to win games. You know the deal. They're both on back-to-backs and they're both trying to win games. 38.5 fantasy score. For example, his fantasy score yesterday was 42.5. Then it bumped to 41.5. Guess what? Captain Crush took less on both. Bang! Cash it. But that was the Utah Jazz. Now it's the Kings. They've overcorrected. 38.5 is just too low. I will take a shot for my fantasy score brethren. He's averaging 1.33 fantasy points per minute over the last 5 games with a 28% usage rate. Now remember, it is 4.5 assists. I like it. It's going to be a sweat. It's always a sweat. Right now, the plus EV is going less on 5 because when you switch that hook, it changes everything. They also bumped his PRA, so his fantasy score is the only one left standing that hasn't been bumped. So I also think his 7.5 3-points attempted's in the mix. I think his total field goal attempted is a little bit too high considering that Luka's back in the fold. So either this or his fantasy, these are always risky. Again, these are the fun props. But I had to talk about Kyrie today because he's in the mix. And again, they bumped everything. You can get his 2.5 3-pointers made on Sleeper as well. So that's all I got to say about Kyrie. And then the thumbnail, most likely he's going to be the thumbnail, is Luka. Again, it's the same principle here. Buy low spot, guys. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be on his first half, and that's fine, whatever have you, but I'm just going with the full game. It was at 62 the other day, 59.5 for a guy that has 70-point upside. It's in the mix. It's a close spread, high point total. I factor all these things into the mix. He's on a back-to-back. Of course, it's going to be a sweat. It doesn't matter who it is. Whenever you get to these type of numbers, 59 and higher, 58, 57, it's always going to be a sweat, people. Make no mistake. Captain Crush has been spoiling you guys with a lot of his plays hitting before the half. You forget that there's 4 quarters. You forget that it's actually a sweat because the masterclass sessions have been that much on point. Luka's averaging 1.45 fantasy points per minute with a 36% usage rate. 36% of the time, the man has the ball in his hands, ready to facilitate, ready to shoot buckets, ready to get it in the mix, and ready to get fantasy points. Now, 3.5 turnovers. Captain Crush told you take over 3.5 turnovers yesterday, but looky, they bumped it all the way up to 4.5. At 3.5, it's a wagon, but 4.5 is an overcorrection, so I will be taking less right here. Now, because his usage rate, which means, remember now, every time he's holding the ball in his hands, that's his usage rate quantified into a number, 36%. 36% of the time, the man has the ball in his hands. If you watch the Dallas offense, he literally runs down the half court. He literally will hold the ball. There's 24 seconds in a shot clock. The man literally holds it for 22 seconds. There's very little ball movement here, which leads to high turnover rates, high turnover ratios. You have to factor all that stuff in. Now remember, I'm doing all these videos live, no script, and they just pulled all those props for the Dallas Mavs off the board. Luka is questionable right now with an Achilles. We'll have to monitor that. Again, this is breaking in real time, but for sure, if Luka sits, you have to be on Kyrie. But if Luka's good to go, then I stand by what I said, assuming no limitations. But while he's injury prone, while we don't know what's going to happen, that the unknown, Kyrie fantasy is the priority as of now. So with that in mind, just stick to Kyrie. But if Luka's good to go with no restrictions, I gave my take on it. Remember, I do all this stuff live in real time, so you never know what's going to happen, folks. Captain Crush never has a script, baby. That's why the videos are so fire. In addition to that, my mouse died, so now I got to reach across the aisle and go over to my computer, and I can't use my mobile mouse. They don't want me to be great. They're trying to keep Captain Crush from cooking a master class, but it ain't going to happen, Chief. It ain't hitting, Chief. I'm here to crush, and I will get through this, and I will get this done. Next on the list, we need a 1v1 run back for the Dallas game, right? Bang! It's De'Aaron Fox. They're also on a back-to-back. 1.34 fantasy points per minute over the last 5 games with a 31% usage rate. The reason I like his fantasy score is because of his blocks and steal equity. They're 3 points a pop, baby. Now, unfortunately, if something crazy were to happen like Luka sits, well then, this spread and game isn't going to be as good as we once thought it was. Now, De'Aaron Fox's fantasy score, it seems he's out of his slump. We have to wait and see. It does expose us to his turnovers, but I also like his 5.5 assists. I also like his R+A, but not so much on PrizePicks. I found it at 10.5 on Sleeper. It's in the mix, baby. It's in the mix. Now remember, if Luka happens to get ruled out, well then all bets could be off, except I will still have exposure to Kyrie. You can take it to the bank. I'm already locked in on Kyrie. It is what it is, fam. Now, I can hear in the chat everybody saying, Cap, what about Sabonis? Do you like Sabonis? Well, Sabonis got clocked in the head last night. I'm talking bang, elbow straight to the dome, like 3 or 4 times last night. Captain Crush doesn't know if he's all there, if he's seeing Looney Tunes like in the old cartoons. I don't know what's going on with Sabonis. I love me some Sabonis. Pause! We're good. We're talking about basketball. But I don't know if he's 100% after what I saw last night. The man was just getting clocked, taking shot after shot, and that takes a toll on a man. We're talking about your cerebellum and cerebral cortex just getting bang, and not in a good way, fella. But I say all that to let you know, of course Sabonis is in the mix. If you want to go with Sabonis instead of Fox, well then God bless you. I did get his points at 19.5. They bumped it up on me to 20.5. It's always risky when you're taking Sabonis's points. Why? Because he just tends to facilitate more than shoot. All he wants to do is drop dimes. Triple-double last night. I watched the whole game start to finish. It was crispy. until it wasn't. I had his turnovers yesterday at 2.5. He cashed. I will probably be fading those today. If you want to take a shot on defensive rebounds, I guess you could. His fantasy score is always in the mix. But again, I'm just going to go with Fox today and trust my model, trust my projections. Fox has that 1.34 fantasy points per minute. So let's go to the crispy calculator. We take 1.34 and we multiply it times 35. Bang! We get 46.9, baby. Fox is at 45. It's crispy. But at the end of the day, it's Darren Fox. Anything is possible. It's all possible. Anything and everything can happen, fella. And with breaking news, it gives you more reason to join Captain Crush's Discord, baby. But Cap, how do we get there? You go to CaptainCrush.net. You slide your little finger down here to the gold package. $24.99 buy now. Or you can use any one of my partner codes. Send me an email and I'll throw you a free month trial for 30 days. I'm doing the Lord's work. There's a lot of guys who have joined. They're in the mix. I gave plays for the same game parlay, the late game last night. My play of the day, Jalen Green smashed on him. I had a ton of 2X's myself. Paul George fantasy score cashed. Everybody was chalking Paul George in the court. Everybody lost faith except for me, Kevin Curtis. I just slapped these guys back. Slap you down, you pre-chalkers. Stop trying to pre-chalk Jalen Green. Stop trying to pre-chalk Paul George. It's hitting. It did hit. It cashed. Cash it. McConnell cashed. My 2-man for the late game cashed. Spartan with the 3-man cash. Green, Hartenstein, Brown, all off the list. I would have had a massive day if Van Vliet didn't get into foul trouble and could have got his assists. And if McBride would have got 15 points. I didn't anticipate McBride playing with the starters in the fourth quarter. I thought he'd be there all on his lonesome, but he did cash his fantasy score now. But look at this crispy slip. This should have been 25x. I talked about the majority of these on YouTube yesterday. I talked about these as well. Levert, unfortunately, that game was a blowout. What are you going to do? I talked about these two pre-game. A second half masterclass. No, this was a full game masterclass, actually. This was the 2-man I gave pre-game. Powell and McConnell, the 2 role players, cash it for the late game cash. The cord was asking, I'll never leave the cord on red. Not in 2024, baby. LOL. Man 2 times says FWM, bro. All right, bro. Here's your shout out. You get it. You get on the tube. You made the tube, buddy. Bob Green, Mixon and Maction, Jalen Breen and Mikal Bridges, cash it. Paul George and Jared Allen, cash it. I love to see guys mixing and matching. That is how you get in the mix, folks. There's no magic bullet when it comes to making slips. You got to use anchors and darts. You got 2 anchors. So let's say it was Paul George and Jalen Green or Capella, and then you mix around all the darts. Mikal Bridges, the Miles Turners, the Siakams of the world, and then you just hopefully land on a 5 combo, but you always anchor with the 2-mans and you will get your profit. A lot of green beans, baby. Look at all these 4-mans cashing. Man, people were on point last night. People were listening to the court. Oh, and Nurkic's first half PRA cash it. Nurkic full game would have cashed. He got injured. And I did have Corey Kispert under, but guess what? They ruled out Denny Avija. And when that happens, it is what it is. All bets are off. Now, you get access to the cord, the live stream, which will be today at 5 Central, and my projection sheets by going again to the Dub Club. The link's in the description. CaptainCrush.net. Couldn't be easier. Now, let's finish this out before I throw hands, and wherever they land, it lands. These tacos, they best cash tonight. I'm telling you, these tacos best cash. Okay, when I'm scrolling on here, I see Zion. If you can find Zion's rebounds at 6.5, it's 6.5 on Sleeper, take it. I'm fading him on PrizePicks. The lines are too high, but I will take it on Sleeper, and I will take an alternate line on Chalkboard, and I will put it in the mix because my Thunder give up rebounds to the 4 and 5 like nobody's business, baby. Now, if that Milwaukee Bucks game happens to stay close, if the Lakers can pull a rabbit out of their freaking hat, you automatically know Giannis and Middleton and Lillard, one of the 3. Look, it's a perfect triangle. PrizePicks knows what they're doing, baby. They got the inverse triangle. They got the perfect pyramid here. Which one's going to get it done? Pick your poison. I honestly don't mind Giannis's fantasy points in a close game. If I knew this game was going to be close, this would probably be the play of the day. Since I don't, I will have limited exposure to it, but it certainly has to be considered. And then, like I said, a lot of stuff that I liked last night did in fact get bumped. You hate to see it. They just bumped Curry from 25.5 to 26. They finally added Chris Paul. Woo! They got Chris Paul's rebounds at 4. It's got that crispy push equity. I might take a shot on Chris Paul, 18.5 PRA, maybe just his rebounds, maybe his P+R. I don't know. I'll have to check the model. Stay tuned for the live stream and we will discuss Chris Paul. He might just be hitting, but I definitely wouldn't put him in a slip with Curry and Kuminga dunks. That's just 3 too many, and the matchup is poverty. Let's limit our exposure. Let's do things correctly. And speaking of the Lakers, this will be the last thing, and then I'm going to close. Where are we going to go? Well, I do happen to like Anthony Davis's rebounds at 12.5. I think that, remember, it's Brook Lopez down there, and I think Davis can body him. When Davis decides to show up, he just can literally clean glass just like Nurkic. He could literally be a Windex light. The question is he going to show up? Is he actually going to show interest and care? Because when he does, he's very, very hard to beat. I'm telling you right now, that's just the facts. But without LeBron, we know that Davis is going to get a usage spike, but also it's going to be on Reeves and Russell to run that offense. I don't know which one of those I'm going to go to, but for now, everybody's going to be on Russell's assist, which is all the way up to 8. Where is it at? Here it is at 8. So Captain Crush, everybody's going right. Bang, left hook. Captain Crush is throwing a left hook, and I think I'm just going to take a shot on 20.5 points. Now, I don't love this because, again, I really do think this game can get ugly in a hurry if Milwaukee shows up. They're starting to click. They got Middleton in the mix. They got Giannis. They got Dame. They got a decent bench, and the Lakers can just turn into poverty, bang, in a New York minute, especially without the King James. So we're going to have to wait and see. This would be one slip max. I will break this down further on the live stream. I said everything I wanted to say. I did it all, baby. I hope to see you guys in the live stream today at 5 Central. Get in there by CaptainCrush.net. But as a special bonus to the YouTube faithfuls for smashing that like, I will leave you with a 5-man slip to celebrate Taco Tuesday, to celebrate the month of March, to celebrate Captain Crush, to celebrate it all, baby. Remember, if blowouts happen, we'll then chalk it off. Here we go. Captain Crush is going to spoon feed you one time, and if it hits, I best see you in that Discord, or bang, I'm throwing hands, and wherever they land, they're going to land, baby. Kyrie, 38.5 fantasy. Draymond Green, over 5.5 assists. We're going rapid fire. Keep up. Chet Holmgren, 26.5 PRA. We got Rui open the Hachimura, 18.5 points plus rebounds, and we're running it back with Chris Middleton, 20.5 points plus assists. It's going to hit, at least I hope. At a worst case scenario, we get 4 out of 5. We get a crispy 2x. That is my gift to the YouTube faithful. Smash that like button if you made it to the end. Here's the salute, and as always, good luck in all your contests. And my brothers and sisters in Christ, let's crush it up.